Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, basically properties of straight lines. What are the properties of straight lines? First point is, on a single line, there exists infinite number of points. Do you agree with this point? Suppose this is a line. Arnav,
Yes, sir.
are you able to see my board?
Yes, sir. I'm able to see it.
Yeah. Is the audio and video clear better?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Now, I have drawn one line and I'm naming it as L. Okay. Can you tell me how many points exist on this line?
Sir, infinitely many points.
That's great. Infinitely many points exist on a straight line. Basically, tell me what is a line? Just we have drawn one and we are saying that it is a line. Can you tell me, can you define what is a line?
So line is a collection of several collinear points.
Several collinear points. Again, collinear points is nothing but the points belonging to the same line, right?
Yes, sir.
So without knowing line, you cannot say what are collinear points. I want now what is a line. Simply I will tell. Line is nothing but the basic idea of a line is its straightness. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's it. The basic idea of a line is its straightness. Now coming to the line, what are the properties present in it? That's the first point. It's there on your screen. That is, on a straight line, there exists infinite number of points. Next, for example, I took a point. Now tell me, points are denoted by what type of letters?
Capital letters.
That's absolutely right. Points are denoted by capital letters. I am taking the point, I am representing the point with the letter P. Now this is the point. Can you guess how many lines can pass through this point?
Sir, infinitely many lines.
That's absolutely right. Infinitely many lines can pass through a single point in a plane. So infinitely many lines can pass. So basically, this is the second property what we can take over. Next, the third point is, for example, I took two different points which lie in the same plane. And I am naming it as A and B. Now tell me, how many lines will pass through these 2 points?
Sir, only a single line.
That's it. One and only one line will pass through these 2 points in a plane. So this is the third point. And now, next. Now types of lines let us take. How many types of lines are present? Basically, there are 2 types. One is intersecting lines and other one is non-intersecting lines. Can you tell me what are intersecting lines?
Sir, two lines that intersect at a common point.
That means if 2 lines have a point in common, then they are called as intersecting lines. Intersecting lines can be in any way, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So here, these 2 different types are called intersecting lines, and the other one I will take. What are these type of lines?
Non-intersecting.
Yeah, they never intersect each other. That means if you extend indefinitely in both directions also, they never meet. Such a type of lines are called as parallel lines. Okay, forget about this point. Now let us look into this point. These 2 are called as intersecting lines. Now I will go ahead and draw a pair of lines called L and M, and I will put a symbol called 90 degrees. Now, are they intersecting lines? No.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And what is the speciality here? They intersect at right angles, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So when two intersecting lines intersect at right angles, then these two lines are called as perpendicular lines. So perpendicularity is denoted by this symbol, inverted T, inverted capital T. So this symbol we will use for perpendicularity. And here two lines are there, L and M, and they are perpendicular to each other. So we denote it as L is perpendicular to M. Okay, na? Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. Now coming to the next point. Can you please tell me, two distinct lines can have how many points in common? Maximum points in common.
Sir, 1.
Yeah, one and only one. If they have infinite lines in common, if they have infinite points in common, then what happens?
Sir,
If I just now I said, you only said two distinct lines will have only one point in common. Okay, very good. Now my point is, if two lines will have infinite number of points in common, then what do they happen?
sir, concurrent lines.
No. Infinite number of points in common, I said. So what happens? Basically, if this is a line, I'm going to place another line on this line only. So what happened? One line is coming and overlapping on the other line. Now what happened? They have infinite number of points in common. So these two lines are called as coincident lines because they lie on each other, no? Did you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you understand the point?
Yes,
If
sir.
two lines have infinite number of points in common, then they are coincident lines. If the same two lines will have one point in common, then they are called as intersecting lines. Parallel lines, just now we discussed, that is, there will be no point in common. So basically, they are lines which are parallel to each other. Next, concurrent lines. Just we discussed, concurrent lines are nothing but two or more lines which pass through the same point. Two or more lines which pass through the same point are called concurrent lines. Here, I will just draw a picture of concurrent lines. Here, two lines are there. And now I have drawn a third line. And these three lines pass through the single point. Now, these three lines are called as concurrent lines. If you draw one more line, passing through the same point, yes, 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines are present. L, M, N, and P. All these four lines pass through the same single point called O. Then L, M, N, and P are called as concurrent lines. And the point through which they pass is called point of concurrence. I hope you understood better.
Sir, so there is difference between coincident and concurrent.
Yeah, obviously. Why? Because coincident is nothing but one line will lie on the other line. Means they are coincident. They do
Yes,
not
sir.
have any gap between them. So they exactly lie on each other. So basically same lines. They are coincident lines. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Just in your notebook, please make a note of the point. Concurrent lines. I will dictate. You just write down. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Write down what I say. Put down the side heading concurrent line.
Done, sir.
write down. If two or more lines, if three or more lines, if three or more lines pass through the same point, if three or more lines pass through the same point, then they are said to be concurrent. Or you can write three or more lines are said to be concurrent if they pass through the same point. In any way you can write. If three or more lines pass through the same point, then they are said to be concurrent. Or you can state it as if three or more lines are said to be concurrent if they pass through the same point. Is that clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next, put a star mark in your notebook and write down. The point through which they pass. Is called the point of concurrence. The point through which they pass is called the point of concurrence. Okay, now? Yeah, Arnav.
Yes, sir.
Did you write the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now my question is, please listen to the question and tell me the answer. Can you find any difference between intersecting lines and concurrent lines?
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell me what is that difference you identified?
So that intersecting lines pass through a single point.
Okay. Okay. Next.
Sir, and in concurrent lines, many lines pass through a single point.
So here, what did you observe? That means here only two lines. Here, three lines or more than three lines, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between intersecting lines and concurrent lines? Means you have to say intersecting lines, we will take only two lines. Two lines are said to be intersecting if they have a point in common. Concurrent line means three lines or more than three lines which have a point in common are called as concurrent lines. This is the small difference, which is a catchy difference between the intersecting lines and the concurrent lines. Is that clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Now moving on to the next concept, that is transversal. Can you please tell me what is a transversal? I hope you have learned in class 6 or 7, right? Class 7 or 6. Yeah, in 6th grade you have learned. What is a transversal? Can you please tell me that?
Sir, when a single line passes through two different lines, two distinct lines.
Okay. My point is, are these two different lines? Different lines? Arnav, are these two are different lines?
No, sir.
Huh? This is line L and this is line M. Are they not distinct? They are distinct lines, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I am passing one line through these two lines called N. Is N a transversal for M?
No, sir.
Then now you only told, no man. If a line passing through two distinct lines, then it is called a transversal. You only told now.
Sir,
Now, I
two
took
non.
one
Sir,
second,
two.
one second. I took two different lines and I dropped one line passing through L and M. Now, is N transversal to L and M?
No, sir.
No. Then, how will you justify your statement? What you said to me just now? Can you please tell me now?
Sir, I was saying that, sir, when two parallel lines.
Only for parallel lines transversal exists. For not non-parallel lines.
So maybe we can say that two lines that do not meet each other at a point.
Okay. Okay. Just listen for one point, but for one moment. I am taking a line like this and another line I am taking like this. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now I am dropping a line like this. Now I am naming it as L, M and N. Now this line N is intersecting the line M and N at two different points called A and B. Okay? Okay, na? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now again I took two different lines here. Same name I am giving, L and M. And I took a transversal, N over here. And again the same points I am taking as A and B. Now, the line N intersect the line L and M at two different points A and B. Here also, the line L and M is intersected by a line N at a point A and B. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Bhumika is saying yes, sir. That's very great, beta. Bhumika, you are absolutely right. Now, here, line N is intersecting L and M at two different points. Point A is on a line L. Point B is a line point B is a point on the line M. So different points. So N will be called as the transversal for the lines L and M. The same goes for this. For these two lines also, the line N is intersecting at two different points. Here also it is a transversal. My point is, here these two lines are parallel because if you extend them indefinitely in both directions also, they never meet each other. But here if you observe, I am extending it. I am extending it. Are the lines meeting or not?
Yes, sir.
Are the lines meeting or not? Yes, Bhumika, you are absolutely right. You are saying yes, sir. Very good. So basically what was my conclusion is transversal will not exist for only parallel lines. Transversal will exist for intersecting lines also. Basically, what is the idea of a transversal? We have to understand. What is the idea of a transversal? If two or more lines are there, if that is intersected by a line in distinct points, then that line will be called as the transversal for the given lines. Whether the lines are intersecting or non-intersecting, transversal will exist. Did you understand, Arnav? Arnav, did you understand now?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good. Now write down the definition of transversal in your notebook. Bhumika, you also please write down, Nana. Transversal. Transversal. Please write down. A line intersecting two or more lines in distinct points. A line intersecting two or more lines in distinct points. is called the transversal, or is called a transversal. Yeah, is called a transversal. Is called a transversal for the given lines.